I don't know about dominate. You know, the Chiefs have won some close games this year, and they've won some games against teams that they're clearly better than, and it's almost like they're toying with them. I mean, remember the Chargers early in the season? They've won by a field goal or under a couple times where you go, come on, really? And they have Mahomes in the game and everything? No, the Chiefs, it's almost like they have to make it interesting for themselves sometimes. That's one. The second thing is the Chiefs want to avoid shootouts. And I brought this up on the show since I learned about it myself because I was shocked to find out. You know, Casey Joyner, the football scientist, Stephen A., have him on the radio. Shout him out a lot. You know, because Mahomes gets on the scene in 18, and they're shooting out with everyone, and they're winning, and it's all high-scoring games. But in the last two seasons, this season and last, their record in high-scoring games is not nearly as good as it is in all other kinds of games, right? And you can see what they could do with Hilaire out of the backfield to kind of control the kind of tempo and score a little bit more. And so because of that, there tends to be lower scoring games than you'd expect sometimes with the Chiefs. A team like the Steelers has chances because they have a good defense and because in those kind of games, one score makes an enormous difference. One guy makes a play. So I would say dominate. Like, I don't know. I think the Steelers are perfectly capable. Let's not overreact coming off their first loss to an underrated team on 4 days rest, third game in 13 days, after they just beat the Ravens, playing their worst football of the season in this stretch for understandable reasons. I wouldn't overreact. And I'm not going to say the Chiefs I'd pick to win, but no, not to dominate.
I don't need to give a lengthy soliloquy on this. You're damn right the Steelers will get dominated, especially if you're going to go by the way they've been looking. You got to remember, defensively, they've been compromised because there's no Devin Bush, there's no Bud Dupree. Right now, there might not even be a Spillane. So we don't know what their defense is going to be able to do. They're number one now overall in points allowed, number 3 in yards allowed. But the bottom line is where they struggle at times, at least it's in their secondary against the pass. And what is the Chiefs' strength? To throw the football. You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Kelsey, who clearly looks like the best tight end in football. I mean, this brother looks like a Hall of Famer, just instant. This brother's a big time, okay? Tyreek Hill is arguably the best wide receiver in the game. We didn't even bring up Sammy Watkins and McCole Hardman. These brothers got it all with Bieniemy and Andy Reid patrolling the offense. And so when I look at it from that perspective and I look at how the Steelers defense can be compromised because of that, then it comes down to the Steelers offense. You can't run the football. You've been one of the worst running teams in football the last 3 years. 2 years ago, ranked 31st. Last year, ranked 29th. At this present moment, they're ranked 29th. That means Ben Roethlisberger has to throw the football, and he has to do what he can to play mistake-free football. And we all know the more he drops back to pass, the more mistake is inevitable. And those are the kind of things that can cost you against Kansas City. The bottom line is pressure breaks pipes. We all know palms get sweaty, and we also know what gets tight. And so as a result of that, when you got that offense for the Kansas City Chiefs coming at you, that might make you tighter. That might make you find yourself in a situation where you know you can't afford to make the mistakes. And any mistake you make could ultimately cost you big time. I see the Kansas City Chiefs right now, and I hope I'm wrong, but I see them right now being a modern day version of the New England Patriots when it came to the Steelers. You know that, remember when, Marcus, no matter how good the Steelers looked, every time they ran into Tom Brady, you just said, oh, damn. Yep. Especially in Foxborough, because you just knew what was going to happen. In Heinz Field, it was a tighter matchup. But in Foxborough, they'd get blitzed. The Steelers lose. They got the same record as the Chiefs now. As a result, it's possible that the Chiefs could have a playoff game, an AFC Championship game at Arrowhead Stadium instead of Heinz Field. Even if it wasn't Heinz Field and ain't no damn fans, no terrible towel wavers, at least not more than 20-25% of the fans in the stadium. So it's like, oh, damn it. Just when just when I didn't need a team to be in their way, the Steelers look this way and Kansas City is. So yes, Max, it is possible the Steelers could get
look at their last 4 games.
Dominated. All right? I looked at their last 4 games.
Look at their last
about that. I'm just saying that this is what I think about the Steelers right now.
The Chiefs' last 4 games.
Who cares?
The Chiefs' last 4 games I'm talking about. And I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl since the preseason. I picked them against the field straight up. Guys, the Chiefs beat the Broncos 22-16. The Bucs by a field goal. The Raiders by 4 points, 35-31. The Panthers by 2 points. These are the last 4 games. They ain't dominating these teams.
Cool. All that's fine, Max, what you're talking about. Yeah, the Chiefs would dominate the Steelers. And it's because of one point that Stephen A. made before I got on and the point he just made now. If you don't have a run game, you cannot beat the Chiefs. That's the bottom line. Because at some point, your offense is going to have to become your defense. Like, you don't beat all of those tight games you just talked about, Max. The Chiefs won because the Chiefs have both elements of the game. There is not enough credit given to the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have won every type of way that you want to win the game. How have the Steelers won? Defensively and throwing the ball through the air. And last night, when they could not run the ball and they faced a Washington football team with a formidable defensive line, the batted balls because Ben gets the ball out quick. Big plays in that game. Not just the Montez Sweat tip for an interception, but before that, drive-stopping tip balls. And then you get to the point where you say, okay, you one-dimensional? Max, if I was to ask you this question, let me pose it another way. Do you think a one-dimensional offensive team can beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Or will the Chiefs dominate that team? If I said the only thing this team go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just say this. I'm picking the Chiefs to win. The key word is dominate. I just read you off the scores of their last 4 games. They're all within a touchdown, usually within about a field goal. Guys, this is the Steelers' defense, okay? Just talk about points they've given up. 23, 14, 3, 10, 19. They don't give up a lot of points, right? So when you say dominate, you think like, oh, you look up at halftime, they're down 2 touchdowns. I don't see it as that kind of game.
Max, hold on, Pastor Spears, hold on for 1 second. Max Kellerman, wasn't it you that just a couple of weeks ago said that the Chiefs just are toying with people? Was that Max? Am I making that up? Did you say that?
I said a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly. You said it segments ago.
Yeah,
they're just toying with people. Toying with people.
Max,
that's what you said.
All right, but hold on. Let me ask you this.
Okay. And I like the Chiefs to win, but that's different than saying dominate.
Let me ask you this. All right, you ripped off the teams that the Kansas City Chiefs just played close. Who did the Pittsburgh Steelers give up that amount of points to? Is it anybody close to what the Chiefs can do off
Ravens?
Come on.
Washington, Cowboys.
It's not comparable. We're talking about a juggernaut offensively that if you not going toe-to-toe. Listen, the one loss for the Kansas City Chiefs this year was the Las Vegas Raiders, who scored 40 points. What people fail to mention in that game is that game was really dominated at the line of scrimmage by the Las Vegas Raiders. With Josh Jacobs being able to control possessions and key first downs in order for Patrick Mahomes not to get the ball back. And in recent games that we just watched, we all know.
That's why I wouldn't pick the Pittsburgh to beat him. You identified it. Pittsburgh doesn't have the run blocking.
We heard you about the dominate point,
but that's different. Dominate is well. That's the question. You don't.
I'm just saying, but you keep acting like we ignored the question about dominate. Yeah. We understand. Just so Max, so you don't have to repeat it to us again, like we can't comprehend. We are talking dominate, Max.
What's the score of the game, Stephen?
We really understand
it. What's the point spread?
We get it. Excuse me, we don't care.
So what's the
I didn't even look at the point spread. I don't care.
I'd like to know what you think.
I think that the Kansas City Chiefs can
dominate. We all think the Chiefs are going to win. So
no, I'm just saying. But we're not accusing.
So we all think the Chiefs are going to win. So what counts as domination?
Wait. Excuse me. A butt's their living butt. Is that good enough? Is that good enough?
In this NFL with these two teams,
I don't see them getting their living butts busted.
In this NFL with 2 teams. A 2-touchdown win for the Chiefs is very plausible against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in the NFL, a 14-point win is dominant.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Max, do you remember the other day?
Of course, and I don't see it that way.
When the Chiefs beat the Bucs? Remember how the final score was 27-24. But do you remember what the Chiefs were doing to the Bucs in the first half?
Yeah.
And how they just took their foot off the gas. Something along that line. How about something along those lines, Max?
But Stephen A.
Would that qualify?
But wait.
But we also just had a game.
At the end of the game.
We also just had a game Sunday where the Cleveland Browns clearly dominated the Titans, and it was 41-35 at the end of the game.
That's right.
Clearly dominated the Tennessee Titans the entire game.
I agree.
The Chiefs would dominate the Steelers in this current situation.
Clearly the better team. the Chiefs are the better team at the end of every game, even against the Raiders, who are built for them. They lost a game. They didn't go undefeated. Then the second game was close. But at the end of every game, I get the sense Chiefs are the better team. I'm not debating that. I'm saying whether it's they have to come back against a team like the Chargers early in the season, or they let a team back in the game like the Bucs later in the season, they seem to almost get bored, and so the games are closer than they ought to be. And what I'm saying about the Steelers is you're sleeping on them right now because the way they've looked in this stretch where their schedule makers, they got screwed by COVID because of the Titans game and the Ravens game. They played 3 games in 13 days, and they look worse than they are right now.
I'll help you out, Max. I'm going to look out for my brother here. I'm going to look out for my brother from another mother here. I'm going to help Max out. Max Kellerman is not saying the Chiefs are going to lose. Max Kellerman, America, are you listening to me? Max Kellerman is not saying the Chiefs are going to lose. He is not saying they're not the better team. He just feels the need to bring out his thesaurus and explain the definition of dominant compared to something else.
Yeah.
What we are saying, Max Kellerman, is that
I'd love for you guys to define dominant.
Hold on, I'll let you speak. We are saying we fully comprehend what you're saying, Max. We know you're not saying the Chiefs are going to lose. You're just saying they wouldn't dominate the Steelers. We're saying, Pastor Spears and myself are saying,
yes, they would.
This Steelers team that can't seem to run the damn football, if they don't get their act together, they will get blown out the damn state of Missouri, or
are they going to get their act together or not?
Wherever the game is played. Period. That's
they don't
what
figure out
saying.
if they don't figure out
are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to get their act together or not?
If they don't figure out how to create some type of effective run game, they'll be a